case that I went to see a dermatologist, and what I thought he was going to do was do a little scraping of it, and he actually removed it. And then I have like, he pretty much botched it.
Right. So now you have a depression.
Yes.
Adele.
Yeah. Is there anything that can be done about that?
Three things. A, if it's really pulled down and it looks like an ice pick scar, I mean it really has sharp shoulders, not sloped shoulders, you almost always have to go and cut those back out. There isn't a lot of ways to fix those. There is something called subcision, where you can take a really funny needle called a no-core needle. It's got a flat edge, and you can go in next to it, and you can get under it, and you can cut it, and that'll take the tether out, and it'll lift it up. And then you can do something called micro drop peeling, and that's where you put trichloroacetic acid or dichloroacetic acid, real tiny amounts, right on it, and it blisters it, but it causes the collagen to remodel, and it'll actually fix the scar. And the last one is there's something called needling. Have you ever heard of it? And needling, well, they actually make these. They look like rollers, and they have tiny, tiny little needles. They're about 30 gauge, and you actually punch a bunch of holes in it, and as it heals, it improves the scar. And lastly, if you have an unlimited budget, then we'll use the the fractional laser on it. That works. But typically it depends on the type of scar. So if it's really, really tethered, I tell people, why don't you just let me recut it out, and then we'll run a medium type of something called a non-ablative laser over it, and it almost always blends the scar, and you can hardly see it. If it's slightly shallow, then those other things work. Needling, microdrop, subcision, fractional lasers running over it. Those will all work for that. And so typically when an acne patient comes into me, about half the scars I can fix without cutting them out. But the other half, I have to numb up, punch them out, put some real tiny suture in it, smaller than your hair, and then I have to fix the scar, because they're just too deep. They go all the way down to the dermis, and there's no easy way to fix those. You're actually better cutting them out and then fixing the little scar, that you leave.